move.
Sorry, what felt like a 1 turned into a wicked 2. You got a power washer,
Well.
Does the Easter Bunny borrow some of his power from Christ? I mean, there's holidays are linked. I mean, where's the source of his power?
Oh,
Are there any other powerful raccoons out there, or is it just Rocket?
none that I know of.
I can't think of any.
Oh, the video game character Sly Cooper.
Oh, that's a dead franchise. Moving on.
He's tougher than Steven Seagal.
That I'll give him.
He's tougher than Steven
100%.
Seagal.
And Steven, you still haven't answered the fucking call.
Yeah, you
So
know who
fuck
else
you,
is
dude.
tougher than Steven Seagal? Me, Steve. Me, you fucking pussy. Look, I even got my ponytail. I'm ready. I'm fucking ready for you, Steve.
Ed, cue the music. Welcome to the Sofa Kingdom podcast with your host, Nelson.
Ian.
Ed.
Working the 1s and 2s over there for you non-DJ people. He's playing with the turntables over there, getting us all set up.
Couple little knobs and switches. Got to be in the right place or things get fucked up.
I mean, he's definitely got the DJ aesthetic going on there. You know, the hat, the beard, the tattoos.
It's the hat for me.
It's the hat. Yeah, it's definitely the hat. It's either that or Tom Sawyer. I mean, you know.
Damn.
Take your pick. So let's jump right into it. So going into something new, Ian, why don't you start us off with what you got?
What I got is I can't get my mind off the fight tonight.
All
UFC
right.
268, Madison Square Gardens.
Way to fucking throw it off.
I always forget that we have that.
But it's always good that you remember it.
Yes, when you do.
Yeah, but it's just a fully stacked card. You have 2 belts on the line. The opener for the card is Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje. That's just...
That's going to be a nasty fight right
If
there.
it gets past the first round, it'll be a miracle. I mean, I don't mind watching 3 rounds of that, but I just don't. That's
All right.
that's
And who's your
insane.
pick for that fight?
For that one, the smart money you would want to say would be Gaethje.
Okay.
I mean, he literally his last fight fought Khabib, lost to him, but so what? It's Khabib.
Right.
But Gaethje is just, he embodies violence.
Right.
He loves the fight. He loves getting into exchanges and wild firefights, and he just relishes it. He literally loves getting...
He's a stubborn fighter.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. But he's literally top 5. Like,
Nice.
he's top 5 in the UFC lightweight division. However, Michael Chandler is a very fast starter. Short, explosive. He's been a champion in Bellator for a long time. He's coming off a loss to the champion. What the hell is this escaping me right now? Oliveira.
Oliveira.
Yeah, Charles Oliveira, du Bronx. Literally, he won the first round, 10-8 round, almost stopped Oliveira. Managed to get to the second round, got caught in the second, and ended up losing.
Right.
But Michael Chandler, his first debut his opening fight in the UFC was Dan Hooker, and he just KO'd him in 1 round. So this fight, I don't see it. I think it's going to be explosive, fast. I don't see it going past the first round. But my money, believe it or not, is on Chandler. Because I think when they take risks, I think Justin takes bigger risks. And in a fight like this, you can't leave your chin out there.
Yeah.
You get knocked out.
You got to leave it all on the table.
In the other fight, it's Shane Burgos fighting some guy named Quarantillo. I don't know too much about
Quarantino?
him. Well, Quentin Tarantino, no. I don't know much about either of these guys, but Shane Burgos has these eyes like he's on crystal meth, so I'm picking him. Literally my reason.
Never bet against meth. That's what I say.
Madison Square Gardens, Frankie Edgar's on the card.
Nice.
Gotta love him. He's
Fan favorite.
Yeah, he's like the hero of New Jersey.
Yes.
Marlon Chito Vera, he's the guy who was famous for fighting Sean O'Malley, and Sean O'Malley's like knee blew out. So that's what his claim to fame was. Marlon Vera's a very good fighder. I just think that in New York, Madison Square Gardens,
The idea is to pull the mic out from in front of your face.
Here we go.
we'll get
And
it.
you skillfully take it and put it right in front of your face.
That's
again.
what I like to do. But now going back to the fight.
Yeah.
He's probably the only good thing to come out of New Jersey.
Man, damn. How you gonna do Bruce Springsteen like that? How you gonna do that?
Who's Bruce Springsteen?
Oh man, wow.
The boss? What?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say Madison Square Gardens. I know time hasn't, and Frankie's had some rough fights lately.
Yes.
Getting literally flatlined by Corey Sanhagen, getting knocked out by Brian Ortega. But these are top guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Sanhagen just fought for the belt literally the other weekend, and then Brian Ortega literally just fought for the belt against Volkanovski. Nice. So there's no shame in losing to these guys.
No.
And I don't think Marlon Vera is top 10. I don't think he's upper echelon. So I think Frankie can get it done. I think he still has enough left in the tank. In New York, in front of this crowd, I think Frankie gets that win.
But that's what Frankie Edgar always brings. It's like he's not quite in, not quite out. He's always game. He's
always
such
tough.
A great,
always tough.
Competitor, and that's why he's still competing at the highest level.
Absolutely. And I remember those days watching Frankie Edgar go toe-to-toe with BJ Penn, Gray Maynard. I mean, he's a legend. So I'm sorry, my money's on Frankie in this one.
Yeah.
Right. Now we get to the two main events of the evening.
Dum.
Exactly. We're talking the co-main event of the evening, Rose Namajunas.
Rose.
Yep.
Going up against Weili Zhang. Now, Weili Zhang is a monster.
Yes.
She destroyed Jessica Andrade, and she had a war with Joanna Jędrzejczyk and beat her. Rose Namajunas has wins over both those girls as well. The only edge I give to Weili is she was training with Henry Cejudo. She moved her whole camp here to the United States to get ready for this.
Nice.
She may have an edge in wrestling.
That's the tiny man, Cejudo.
Yes, very little. Yeah, I think he has an upcoming fight against Hezbollah.
He's great though.
Yeah.
Like the King of Cringe, right? That's what it was for a while there? Yeah.
Henry,
I love his whole style.
Yeah,
in and out of the ring.
He's cringy. Henry Cejudo is cringy, but he's a hell of a fighter.
He is.
I mean, he's an Olympic
a
gold
nasty
medalist.
Fighter. Yes.
And he's a 2-division champ. He's legit.
And he's smart. He ducked out like at the top of his game. He's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm having fun. He's doing his thing.
Rose Namajunas is a warrior monk.
Yes.
I mean, head shaved, 100%. When she's focused and her mind is on it, I think that's the best woman in the world at 115.
I would never bet against her. Rose is fantastic.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to is her head in the game when she walks in the ring. Because when it is, she wins.
Yeah, if she shows up 100% focused, I think it's her night again. And I don't care if it goes 5 rounds or if it's a sudden stoppage. I do think it is going to go the distance, but I think Thug Rose walks away with the decision.
Yeah.
The main event, Kamaru the Nigerian Nightmare Usman up against Colby Chaos Covington. That's a hell of a fight. That's a fight for the fans. Their last fight was a war.
Yeah.
The trash talk is ridiculous. Colby is just...
It's not a surprise, but I did notice
he likes to play the villain.
I noticed
He's
a lack of red hat lately.
Yeah. No more MAGA hat.
It just faded away. And
It
it's like,
disappeared.
Hey, look, he's been known to speak about the fact that he's playing the villain.
Yes.
But some of me, when I listen to him talk, is like, you like it a little too much.
Yeah, there's something there.
You know what I mean? He's no Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen, he was the embodiment of, I'm going to play the fucking tool.
Yeah.
I'm going to play the
love
villain.
Chael Sonnen.
He's great. And who doesn't like somebody who's willing to put on a show for the fans, right?
Yeah.
Everybody needs to see the dynamic good versus bad, and everybody wants to have a little fun with that. But who's your pick for
that
this fight?
I mean, this is a good fight because they cancel each other out and they match up against each other well.
Right.
The thing is, the way I look at it is Kamaru Usman can do everything that Colby can. He just, in my opinion, does it a little better.
But better.
I think he hits a little harder. I think he wrestles a little better.
Yes.
And I think he's a lot stronger.
And
so,
every time we see him in the ring, he's getting better. Right?
I mean, if you look at what Colby did since he fought Kamaru, I mean, what? He had a win over an aging Tyron Woodley?
Right.
I mean, fucking Jake Paul just beat Tyron Woodley.
I know.
So, I mean, like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here?
No, you're right.
I mean, Kamaru had beat Gilbert Burns.
that is that is still
top tier fighter.
And KO'd him.
That is
Top
still
tier fighter.
a strange sentence to have uttered.
It was just uttered. It was just uttered.
It's like YouTuber
We live in that
beats
world now.
professional fighter.
We live in that world now.
Didn't he have to get the tattoo?
I think he did. He got it on his finger.
Oh, see, I'm sorry. That's where I just quit. I retire. I am not tattooing another man's name
On my
on my
body.
body. I'm just not doing it. I'll take
well,
the beating
it's like-
like a man
Well, how much?
and walk away
how much
into
did
the
he,
sunset.
How much did he make for that fight?
Oh, I don't know. Not enough. Not enough to get Jake Paul's name on his body. It says I love Jake Paul too.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's what it has to
fuck
say.
That's what the
noise.
tattoo had.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think he did it on his finger, right?
His
did.
middle finger.
Chop it off.
Yeah.
Chop the
you can always
fucking
cut-
finger off.
You can always cut your finger off.
Yeah, throw it at him in the ring.
Yeah.
It's like shitty middle finger tattoo, $1 million.
Yeah.
So with the
Well, In that case, I'll get 2 of those tattoos.
It's like that's what you do have to consider because
No, I get it.
It's a proper payday when he does those fights,
payday.
which is why that's the only reason why he's able to get actual fighters into those fights because they're getting paid. Yeah. That's for sure.
Well, that main event, I'm going with our boy Kamaru Usman. I think not only does he get it done, I think he stops Colby in the 3rd round.
I second that, and I think he breaks his jaw again.
All right, and we'll find out. We'll find out when this episode comes out how right we were.
Goddamn right. Yeah. And I like the way Michael Bisping said it. He's going to give him that MAGA jaw.
Well, I think Jake Paul's winning days may be coming to an end because he's supposed to fight heavyweight champion Tyson Fury's little brother in December.
Jesus.
And Tommy Fury is not a joke.
No.
He's a very large, powerful, and this is the first time Jake Paul is fighting a legit boxer.
And I believe he's on a 7-fight win streak.
Yeah, and Tommy Fury can fight. Mm-hmm. Tommy Fury can punch, and Tommy Fury is training with his big brother for this fight.
So this will be his toughest test to date.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the question will be, by how much does he beat him? Because if he embarrasses him, then that does stop the train of these fights that he's been doing.
Right.
If he beats Tommy Fury, then we have to legitimately...
But if he hangs... even if he doesn't beat him, even if he hangs in there with Fury for several rounds and looks like a legitimate fighter...
Right.
He's kind of backdoored his way into a fucking boxing career.
I'm already giving him credit for beating Tyron Woodley, despite the fact that he is getting up there, he's towards the end of his career. Tyron Woodley is a welterweight great. He's on the Mount Rushmore. He defended his belt 3 to 4 times at welterweight.
Fighter.
Yeah,
he
beat Darren Till. He knocked out Robbie Lawler in one punch.
Yeah,
Jake Paul
has the power.
Him.
Yeah.
Jake Paul beat him in a boxing match. So I don't know what the hell. I mean,
I say take it to the streets. Just do lunchroom brawl. Let's do it. Let's see it. Record the whole thing.
Tyson Fury said though that if his brother Tommy cannot beat Jake Paul, he says he has to change his name.
Damn.
He says, well,
family name on the line.
Their dad even said it. Jon Fury said, Tommy has aspirations of being a world champion.
Right.
If Tommy Fury cannot beat a YouTuber, he needs to hang up the gloves because he will never be a world champion.
No pressure.
Ever.
No pressure.
Seriously.
So, and if the heavyweight champion of the world, literally coming off one of the greatest heavyweight fights in history,
right,
with Deontay Wilder, if he came from England to help him with the camp and is devoting himself to training his brother, it's going to be real. It's going to be real.
Taking it seriously.
If there's any doubt in Tommy's mind, it's going to be taken away by Tyson.
Now, is the Paul guy, is it Jake or Logan? Which one?
Logan's the older one that's supposedly... Well, Logan Paul is supposedly taking an upcoming fight with Mike Tyson. That's the rumor on the street.
Is it going to be one of those
exhibition or
fight?
Does Mike Tyson really have exhibitions? Is that a thing?
Listen, he did. He did have an exhibition against Homeboy the other time
with Roy Jones.
Yeah, with Roy Jones.
I watched that, and I honestly think that it was nice for them to give him a draw, but I think Tyson was very gentle, and I think he carried Roy.
Really? Okay.
I do think he carried Roy.
Yeah,
so there was a couple times where I was like, "Oh man, he held back."
Okay. You're not the only person that has said that, and that goes back to what I had said. Boxing does have an etiquette for exhibition matches.
Yes, it does.
Just don't ask that wild ass Brazilian to jump in the ring for an exhibition fight because he's gonna murder somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
He had something to prove, but no, okay. Here's what I say: Tyson, take the fight, murder him.
Yeah,
just destroy him. Throw the money out the window. You don't need it. Do it for me, if not for anyone else.
Yeah,
please, just one knockout. Bang! Done. Highlight reel for the ages.
They say power's the last thing to go, and I don't know. Yeah. I don't see that.
Come on, wouldn't it be like the biggest thing to hit the internet if he just went in there and first round and just murked him?
Just looked like he did back in the heyday.
It's he Babe Ruth the bitch. He just walks in and points towards the audience, like way off into the crowd, into the sunset, and just walks in and just wrecks.
Because boxing is becoming like a
sideshow
circus now.
Yeah.
I mean, what they did to Evander Holyfield is absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
But at least putting Roy Jones against Tyson, at least they both understood.
Yeah.
Like they both were similar in age. Like they're both in their 50s. Like, okay. And we know what we're getting into here. It's not like, Well, you put Vitor Belfort, who's allowed to juice, in there with Evander Holyfield. I mean, that was murder. That was attempted
but I
murder.
mean,
that
what
was.
the hell?
I agree.
Boxing kind of needed to start doing something to shake it up.
Right.
Because let's be honest, the only people making money in boxing are the people that have been in it forever and established. Everybody else is making MMA money.
Right.
You know.
No, it's really it's Tyson Fury and what's the other gentleman's name?
For the heavyweight?
Yeah.
For the heavyweight title right now, it's
the last fight that
Alexander Usyk, who came up from cruiserweight, who a lot of people consider Alexander Usyk to be the best cruiserweight of all time.
Okay.
He came up and put on a show and beat the absolute shit out of Anthony Joshua, which no one saw coming. And Usyk took the belt. So Usyk has these belts, but I think unanimously, if you asked who is the heavyweight champion, I think no one would disagree with Tyson Fury is the heavyweight champion. Yeah. He's the lineal heavyweight champion, and after what the performance he put on against Deontay Wilder, getting up twice, and then coming back to knock him out, that was in my opinion, that was the greatest heavyweight fight I've ever seen.
That's what I was getting. That's what I was getting back to is that Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, those are the only two legitimate boxers that I know right now.
Yeah. Well,
right, MMA, I know a plethora of fighters, right?
Yeah.
How many household names?
If you don't follow boxing,
you know
not
right
really.
now?
I mean, the only one you could argue is Canelo Alvarez, who also fights tonight.
I mean,
Canelo Alvarez also fights tonight.
I've seen some conversations where they're saying, you know, because boxing, a lot of the audience is aging, and a lot of the younger audience isn't following. It's moving on to other things like MMA.
Sure.
Well, if you don't understand and appreciate the intricacies of boxing, it can be boring.
So the Paul brothers weaseling their way in is bringing new eyes. Right. So some people are loving it and some people are hating it because they're like, this is not the eyes we want. But it's like, but you're running out of eyes.
Right. So take advantage
basically,
of it.
They're taking advantage of an ailing sport, but in the sense they are also polluting it.
Right.
Yes.
And then saving it.
Yeah. So it's like
the waters.
It's like she was losing her house, so we prostituted her out, but she can pay for her house.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Way to go, boxing.
So,
way to go.
With that said,
Little Darkness,
my old friend. Let's slide into my just saw, and Ed, I'm gonna steal yours probably. The Eternals.
I saw it too.
Oh, it was a really, really good movie.
I enjoyed it.
I will say that
I did too.
The critics went after it, and more so, some people that there were some things that they didn't like, that there was a more diverse crowd or cast, I should say, in the movie. But when you watch it, it makes sense. It wasn't forced. Nothing was forced about the movie. And I liked the bigger actors in there. You know, I think they did a really good job carrying the MCU torch into the next segue of MCU movies.
I'm always a little skeptical when they bring a cast like that. And you're like, it's a lot of big names.
Sure.
Are they going to actually do the role?
Right.
Which to fit the universe, or is it going to end up kind of throwing things out of whack? Where you're watching the movie, you're like, nah, I'm watching Angelina Jolie. I'm not watching.
Yeah.
She does look good. I'm sorry.
No, but she did a great job too. I thought so. Yeah. They kind of hulked her out though, didn't they?
Yeah, I thought the reviews, the critics' reviews, I thought they were a bit harsh.
Yes.
I honestly did. I understood where they were coming from because when I went in, for those of you who haven't seen it, it is not a traditional Marvel movie.
Right.
It's not. It's more of a film. It's they're developing these characters and explaining this giant, expansive thing. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie.
Yes.
But I understand where the critics were coming to, because if you went into it expecting a Thor Ragnarok fun roller coaster thing, you're not going to get that.
But it was also the intention of the movie to do that as well, was to change things up a little bit, bring a little bit more to the formula that's been done 20 plus movies.
Sure.
To prevent it from getting stale, because it's so many movies deep, they needed to expand on what they can get done on the screen.
And I think what they're doing too with the movies is that they're also going to expand it into other areas that it needs to go into.
Yeah.
Darker areas, less comedic, even though I love the comedy.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's fun. That's more engaging for a younger audience, but they wanted to add a little more drama, a little more suspense. I liked the plot twists that was going on in the movie, because some of that I didn't even see coming.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed what they did with it.
It's a maturing of the Marvel movies. Just like when Ragnarok came out, and it really was a comedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, whether you knew the characters or not, you could sit somebody down, they could watch it and be laughing, whether they knew all of the previous movies. It was a proper comedy.
That was one of my favorite Marvel movies.
It was hilarious.
So it when you're this many movies deep, they're expanding, they're maturing what can be done for comic book movies, and they're becoming films.
Sure.
And it's angering some people because they like to categorize it, and once you're starting to get out of the category, all of a sudden it's a fucking problem because we can't say what you are anymore because now you're more than that little box that we want to put you into. Yeah.
How dare you not be exactly what I want you to be?
Yes. How dare you finally do something more?
You.
How dare you step outside your box? How dare you?
No, but I liked it. I liked the after credits. There was 2 post-credit movie scenes.
Make sure you stay and watch both of them.
Absolutely. And spoiler alert.
Are you doing this?
I'm doing it.
Are you doing this?
I'm gonna do it.
All right,
if you haven't seen it by now, because
Stop.
right now it's 2 days.
If you haven't seen it,
comes out,
stop this right now and jump ahead.
Just listen to this shit. It's great.
Okay.
All right. So
at time of filming,
yes,
it was 2 days ago.
So the post-credit scenes, you got the first one, right? Let's talk about that. Harry Styles comes in.
Yep.
He's gonna play a perv.
Yeah.
He's Thanos' brother. He's going to bring something new to the universe because they are going to start a war. I believe, this is just me throwing this out there, with the Celestials. I think it's going to be a big cosmic war.
A lot of space stuff going on.
Yes. I think that Marvel is going to attack this next phase 4 in different segues.
They're trying to pull it off of just being on Earth.
Yes.
Because let's be honest, some of the heroes don't have the ability to deal with some of the larger threats in the Marvel universe. I mean, they're already through Thanos at Earth. It's like, to get bigger than that, you can't be using these non-powered people.
Wait,
we got to start bringing it out farther.
So Hawkeye can't fight Celestials? Is that what you're saying?
No, high school archery does not cover intergalactic
but he's bringing
warfare.
His daughter. He's bringing his daughter.
Well, it's not even his daughter in the miniseries coming up. It's someone else that's taking up the mantle.
Okay, all right.
Less effective archery. Great.
So he fired his daughter, and he's bringing somebody else.
No one cares about bank robbers anymore when you have planet-eating monsters. No one cares.
No, but I think that they're going to attack it on multiple fronts. They're going to do it like large-scale celestial battle. They're probably going to have some dark elements with Doctor Strange, and I think they're going to bring in some other various superheroes and villains to fight on a dark scale locally, and then small-scale stuff as well.
Just the stuff that they did with the TV shows, or the little miniseries that they did to expand what they could do and play around with in the universe.
Sure.
I think that was not just to tell stories, it was a test bench. Will the audience follow along if we're telling these stories in a different way than what's traditionally being done? If you look at what they did with WandaVision, that was way left field.
Sure.
When they announced it was going to be a sitcom, you're like, what the fuck? How are they doing a sitcom?
The first couple episodes, I even know, turned some people off. Because they're like, what the hell is going on here?
Yes.
What are they doing? Like,
Yes.
I loved WandaVision.
So did I. And if you gave it a chance.
Yeah. I thought WandaVision was better than The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I actually enjoyed WandaVision a lot.
Yes.
Loki was good too, but still, I would say, other than What If, I would say the best one that Disney put out was WandaVision.
Okay.
It hit hard.
It definitely had the most different feel of anything else that they had done.
And who didn't like the evil witch?
Yeah.
I mean, what's her name?
Agatha Hargrave.
Agatha, she was awesome.
I think she's getting her own spin-off.
She should.
She
I thought she was amazing.
At least they talk.
She deserved
it. But
it.
the Internals are so interweaved with everything that goes forward.
Wasn't she the girl that was like peeing in the urinal in Step Brothers?
Yes.
Wasn't that her?
Yes,
it was her.
Yes.
She is a character actor that has been in so many places.
She reminds me of Margot.
You see her, you're like, I've seen her before.
Yeah.
I know her from
one
somewhere.
Of those faces. Yeah.
Yes, and she finally landed a role where people were like, oh yeah, she is excellent. She does deserve to be front and center.
Yeah. No, but I think going back to WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki.
Yep.
For me, I like Falcon and Winter Soldier the best. Really? But I love the buddy cop type movies, like that aspect. WandaVision was a close second. I loved WandaVision. I really did. But I don't know. There's something about the Bucky versus the Falcons, like
they play off
dynamic.
each other very well.
And then bringing in Baron Zemo.
Yes.
He was like a tool.
He was,
but you kind of liked him.
He was
but you kind of liked him.
Yeah,
yes.
they kind of like him.
Yeah, him getting to play that character more than he just did on screen in Civil War was so much nicer because he did that role so well. You're like, man, he did need some more screen time.
Yeah.
When are they bringing Sandra Bullock in?
I hope they never bring her in. You know what? You know what they could do? They could bring her and Jada Pinkett Smith in, right, for like one just quick scene and then just blow them up.
They're celestials.
Yes.
Oh yeah. That could be the next chunk of villains the Eternals got to go after.
Yeah,
Giant Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yes, if they brought him in as villains, I'm in. Because I would like to hate them on screen even more than I hate them in reality.
Yeah.
So yes. So I thought the Eternals was great. Going into the second post-credit scene, I think that has bigger implications for the dark side of the MCU.
Yes.
Jon Snow makes an appearance.
Goddamn right. Jon Snow, he is the
Black Knight.
And then they had Blade talking to him in the background.
Daywalker, yes,
the
sir.
Daywalker himself. Not Wesley Snipes.
Walking in the day.
The new Blade.
Marsala Ali.
Yes. Not related to Muhammad Ali.
No relation at all.
No relation at all. But I think he's going to do a great job as the new Blade.
I'm holding my resume. I want to see how this goes. Like
That's okay. That's all
Wesley
right.
Snipes did a good job. They saved the Marvel company with that movie.
They really did. Yeah.
You know, and Ryan Reynolds was in that.
He was.
Ryan Reynolds has been everywhere.
He's gotten around quite a bit.
Yeah. He was in Blade.
Yes.
He was Green Lantern. That was a great performance.
That was the best performance
of
his career,
that
some
was
would say.
great. Yeah.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And he was Deadpool twice. Once
Yes.
in the shitty Wolverine movie.
Oh,
and then again in the great reboot.
You know what it was? Is it took him saying, fuck it, I will put my own money and investment and make a movie the way that I want to with a character that I would love to play. And he did it the right way.
Yet to be confirmed that his camp leaked out the test footage that he made for Deadpool
Smartest thing
to the
he did.
internet.
Yes.
So that little short
they kept turning him
where he's
down.
on the bridge, they kept saying no.
Are we going to ever see, now that the merger has happened,
Yes.
are we ever going to see Hugh Jackman Wolverine?
I'd love to.
Like Ryan Reynolds Deadpool.
Yes.
Are we ever going to see it?
I'd
There has to
love
at least
to.
be a cameo in the
Yes,
third one.
I know. For
There
real.
has to be.
Yeah, or one fight scene, like
Jesus.
a little more than a cameo. Just like, you know what I mean? Like Wolverine's just like retired somewhere chilling, and Deadpool fucking ruins his vacation, and they get into a fight together.
There's
Something.
There's a good, I think it's a one-shot comic with it. It's actually Wolverine, his son Daken, and Deadpool, and that would actually make very well, because it shows Wolverine almost at his best, where he has all his memories and his ability to strategically long-term plan to fuck everybody over, and them not realizing it until. So like it's like a war that's culminating between these few parties, and then it ends when they all realize like, motherfucker, he set it up where no one wins.
Nice.
And it's building up to this fight, and they're just like, fuck.
Yeah.
And there's nothing they could do except for just walk away like, we can't do shit until this dude dies.
Right.
And he can't fucking die.
Oh, that sounds cool. But Eddie, what about you? Going into something new, what you got?
So something new. I haven't played a new game purely because it was a game I had saw and I was interested in playing it. And I went to my Android Play Store to download, it wasn't there.
Oh,
Which isn't too uncommon. A lot of times the games will come out for one platform and then eventually it will come out for the other.
Okay.
They tend to focus on fixing it for one store first and then the other. But this game is like a year and a half, 2 years old.
You didn't do a pay to play, did you? Pay to
No.
win? Okay.
No. But
We talked about this.
It's one of those situations where it's like, it's a mobile game. Why is it not on both stores? And it's still a thing that happens every now and then,
Sure.
and it's tremendously annoying because there's really no restrictions other than the developers simply don't want to put it on the other store.
right.
So it's one of those things where it's on Apple and then it's on PC.
Right.
So it's like
The two best platforms.
So they're willing to port it over and then it's coming out like next month on the Nintendo. But it's one of those like, there's these little backroom deals that happen with these companies where they will pay to not have it developed for the other, and it doesn't necessarily get spoken where it's like it's not going to come out.
Sure.
But when the game is over a year old, you're like, oh, it's not going to come out for the other platform.
What game is this?
It was
Animal Crossing.
No.
Animal Crossing 2.
Viva Pinata.
Viva Pinata
Deluxe
2.
edition.
It was like mini cities or something like that. It was essentially, you had a small city that was being built little by little, but you had to direct the traffic of the homes that are being built and the businesses that were being built.
Sounds shitty.
So it was a little like time killer puzzle kind of game.
Something you fall asleep to.
Perhaps. But I was like, it looks fairly interesting.
Okay, cool.
And it was just like, yeah, I could pick that up and kill a couple minutes here and there.
Like one of those build the roller coaster theme park.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of things.
Playing God.
Yeah.
Watching people starve.
Yeah, you just build a couple little things
Big
here
Planet.
and there.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, something.
Little Big Planet had its own issue with.
You know what?
hackers,
I liked Little Big Planet. I won't say that I disliked it. I played it for a little while. Me and Cassidy got into it for a little bit there, and I enjoyed it for what it was. So I can't really hate on it too much.
No, it was just one of those moments where you're looking for a little something. You had a little time to kill, and you're like, oh, that looks good, and then you run into the large corporations that do those little deals where you're like, these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go buy an Apple device just to play a game.
Got it.
So not bringing it to this other market is simply just not making you money.
Right.
That's really what it seems to me.
All right. So, all right, let's jump right into today's podcast, and I think it's really going to be more about the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole.
Yep.
Whether it's the critics and the fans' reviews, or just the movies that you like, or even the TV series that we liked as well, because they do play a large factor into what's culminating into the Phase 4 of the Marvel Universe.
Yep.
So, I know that what they're looking to do, I like so far.
Yeah.
Right? Shang Chi came out. The Eternals came out.
Yeah, so as we're sitting right now, Eternals was the last movie that just came out.
Right.
So we know where the Eternals sits, essentially in the universe. Where they could go from there, they could branching off with the Black Knight and some of the Avengers and things like that could be interesting. A big kind of what the fuck kind of thing is what Sony's doing, because they're almost making movies each in their own universe.
Yeah.
But then the Morbius trailer drops, and it looks like it's in every Spider-Man universe, where you got scenes that are like, well, that's a thing from this Spider-Man, and that's a thing from this Spider-Man, and that's a thing from Venom. Where the fuck is this movie taking place, and where is that going to fit? Because Morbius also ties into the Eternals.
It does.
So it's a weird, like, Sony is just like, fuck it.
Yeah. Now, with that being said,
you pick up the pieces, Disney.
we have a Morbius doubter in the room.
We broke it. You fix it.
Yeah, we have a Morbius doubter in the room.
We do have a Morbius
2 out of 3
doubter.
of us
We do have a Morbius
think that
doubter.
Morbius is going to be a good movie. The trailer looks great.
It all
looks
comes
really
down.
promising.
It all comes down to Jared Leto. That's
All right,
what it comes down to.
I think
Speak your mind, sir. Speak
ahead.
your mind.
Yeah,
What do you hate
right.
about the Jared Leto?
you can go first.
All right, I'll start.
All
and
right,
then
go for it.
Actually, believe it or not, I have to take a restroom break, so I will dive in on this, and then you guys can dissect it. Listen,
All right.
it comes down to Jared Leto. What Jared Leto are we going to get?
Yes.
Are we going to get the Jared Leto from the first Suicide Squad Joker, which was, basically a drug addict, just on being, he kind of revamped his Dallas Buyers Club.
Yes.
Performance as Joker. Are we going to get the Fight Club Jared Leto? Are we going to get the Jared Leto from the Snyder's Cut Joker, which was a much better Joker?
Was a much better Joker.
The brief time he was on the screen in that movie, towards the end of it, was better than the entire Suicide Squad performance.
Yeah, I think you're going to get a better Jared Leto because he's the centerpiece of the movie.
Right.
And Suicide Squad, he wasn't supposed to. He was supposed to be the centerpiece, and then they changed it up at the end, and he basically hit the cutting room floor.
I know
Right.
actors can redeem themselves. I know they can put in a shitty Ryan Reynolds. I know they
Yeah.
can do a shitty performance, come back, and then blow the role out of the water and
Right.
do an excellent job. Which is what we're all hoping for with what's his name doing the Batman.
Yes.
Yes.
Sparklers.
Yeah.
Sparkle.
Sparkle in the daylight.
Sparkly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Jared Leto is one of those people who's
Edward Cullen or whatever.
multi-talented, and when he nails a role, he does nail a role.
Yes.
He's a very talented actor.
Yeah.
He is.
And it looked like it is a role made for him because he did like the darker side of the Joker. He wanted to play more of the maniac, street thug Joker version for that movie.
I'm just worried we're gonna get vampire heavy again. We're doing the Blade again. We're revamping Blade. We're doing Morbius.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But
how many vampires can we do?
We need more vampires in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I say bring in Dracula.
Do you remember that phase where Twilight was going on? There was a new Underworld movie out every weekend. We can't do that again. We can't.
Well,
Vampire Diaries was on Netflix.
Vampire Diaries is all the
vampire movies have been kind of dead in the water for a little while. So now's a good time to bring them back and bring them back from a different perspective.
Yes, we need a Marvel werewolf. I say Teen Wolf comes back.
Wait, there has to be.
There is a character that I believe their power is they essentially turn to a werewolf.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
I'm sure their
werewolves always get the shit end of the stick.
Just as generic as wolf. I'm sure that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I agree.
So they always get the shitty end of the stick.
No, but I think I think Morbius has a chance to be a good movie, and then also tie in darker elements, Venom and Spider-Man as a whole, and bring them all into the MCU.
I think if Sony's going to fix the what the fuck that they're throwing at Marvel in general, it'll be with the Spider-Man movie here and with the Doctor Strange movie where they can stitch things together and try to make a cohesive story, because they're essentially just, I mean, they're making good stories, but they're not doing it in a way where it ties in with the rest of the universe.
Sure.
They're kind of just like, here it is, go, and you people figure out how this patches in.
Yeah.
We're gonna go over here and move on to the next thing.
They just need to sell the property back to Disney and let them fucking handle it, because they push back.
Yeah, let's give more power to Disney.
I'm all for it. Give them all the power, and then hire me because I support you, Disney. He does it.
I think the only issue.
Fuck you, Mickey.
Yeah, I think the only issue.
I don't agree with this.
I can see with Morbius is if it's in its own universe also,
right,
and it's not tied in with the rest. That's the only way I could see it really having a problem where. I think there would be some audience pushback of like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Right.
There's a whole giant universe, and all you got to do is play nice with Kevin Feige and the boys over there, and just make it stitch in with what's going on.
I think a lot of what's going to tie everything together, if the movie is done right, and I hope it is, because I think the multiverse of madness should be the biggest movie to tie a lot of loose ends up.
It's their chance.
It's an opportunity to do so.
It's their chance to properly bring in the mutants and everything else all together.
Yes, and that's the other thing that's largely like escaping me, where the X-Men and the mutants are all going to fit in. And they're not even going to call them the X-Men. They want to call the movie The Mutants. They changed it because I think that they think that there's a negative connotation with the X-Men. And I think maybe they were like, hey, if we call them the mutants and then slowly roll out some of these movies and then bring in the whole X-Men, they can rename them. And they don't even have to. I mean, the X-Men, though, they've been fan favorites in the comic universe forever. They basically single-handedly... saved Marvel Comics for a long time. They were their number one grossing and selling comic.
To get over that hump, to try to explain the scientific nature behind the X and Y chromosome, and X is actually in both male and female, and that's where they get their powers from, is going to go way over the audience's head. Me going any further than that is going to go over any of our... Your eyes are going to gloss over... faster
like tech talk
than me explaining what I did to the fucking editing computer. I know it. And as fun as it is for me
to explain,
to see it
and see me die slowly 1,000 deaths like Japanese fingernail torture.
They can't do that to the audience. And the people that are real deep into the X-Men, they already understand that bit of the lore and that behind it. I don't know how they could go about rebranding the X-Men. I mean, they do have, Alpha Force and Alpha Flight and all the other X Factor and all that other nonsense.
Just jump into the Uncanny X-Men. You don't really need to keep telling the backstory. People know that they're mutants and they have powers. You don't have to dive too much further than that. People are already sold on the superhero genre as a whole. Most people that know the X-Men and know special abilities, you don't really have to dive too deep into it if you don't want to.
Yeah, because if they bring the X-Men in, I think that's their chance to also try to bring back in the Inhumans.
Right.
Because they're bringing the X-Men and then not bringing the Inhumans would be hilarious.
What I say
and
is...
a terrible move.
Sorry, what felt like a 1 turned into a wicked 2. You got a power washer,
Well.
You got a power washer out back?
Oh,
all right.
man, I hope you didn't go in the shower.
Oh, man. I had to do a handstand. That was bad.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, shades of
Speaking
Alexa.
of superpowers. Shit.
Because I know the Inhumans miniseries wasn't all that well received. I didn't hate it,
but I didn't love it.
We still talking about vampire werewolf sex?
Yes.
Sure.
Sure.
Well,
Vampire werewolf sex. All right, so let's bring you into the fold.
Right.
Recap. Talking about the X-Men. Talking about the Inhumans. Do you know any of them?
I know the X-Men very well.
All right. Inhumans was a spin-off of the X-Men and the mutants because at one point, someone owned, I believe, the rights to the X-Men, and they were trying to kill off all of the X-Men at one point, or the mutants as a whole,
and
then
Fox,
bring in
Disney
the Inhumans.
we lose. The fans lose.
Yeah, it's like a whole Captain Marvel Shazam bullshit. You can look it up later. I won't explain it.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
But even right now in the comics, most of the mutants are dead.
Sure.
So the few mutants that are left are crazy powerful, and they're doing some things that are manipulating the way things are going to outcome to make them even more powerful than what they currently are.
Right.
Wasn't there an arc where the Scarlet Witch stole all the mutants' powers?
She didn't
or
steal
them,
all the mutants' powers. She essentially almost erased all the mutants from existence.
Yes.
And at the end of
Wanda, what are you doing?
so that's
Come
so
on, Wanda.
She's crazy. She's really OP in a lot of ways.
Yeah, so that's the House of M. So what happens
That's
is
what it was.
she uses her powers to bring back her brother.
Right.
Her children are in there at some point in time as well, and in doing so, it essentially breaks the universe. It's a couple comics, and it branches into almost like one issue of everybody's comics that was coming out at that point in time, touched into the story, and that's where you get Wolverine getting his memory back, because when she essentially she tries to give everybody what they want, and what he wanted, what his memory.
Right.
So he gets his memory, but now all of a sudden he's in S.H.I.E.L.D. and he's like, the fuck am I doing as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent right now?
Right.
And he goes AWOL. But that's when he's like his most powerful, because now he knows everything and what he's capable of.
The Scarlet Witch is always somebody who comes up in my mind, because when everyone attacks one of my favorite superheroes, not to jump over to DC, but
Go for it.
Superman.
Yeah.
Everyone always says, "Oh, his weakness is magic," because in the writings, there's no defense for him for magic. I remember
Dark arts.
Exactly. they always say, "Well, Wanda Maximoff, can use." Magic.
Yeah, I mean they
there's
always
no
say
there's no defense that Superman wouldn't punch her in the face at 6 times the speed of light.
Goddamn right.
But
yes, absolutely.
I mean, they always say his weakness is magic. I think his
Harry Potter could beat Superman.
I always looked at it as like his equal.
Dobby
would be magic.
can fucking kill Superman.
Jesus God, dude.
Well,
this is bullshit.
Technically, the House Elf's magic was completely different from the Wizards, and it actually was very powerful, but they were stuck under certain rules of which they could do things.
Dobby had such a shitty life. Dobby was just
put a brief.
How do we get from the X-Men to fucking Dobby and his fucking magical prowess?
I feel like Dobby was just giving hand jobs at the Malfoy house. Like,
he said,
"Come on, Dobby,
Master, again,
Dobby, faster."
Well, if you wanna go more,
I'm sorry, Master.
That's also why the goblins weren't allowed to have wands, because they would be too powerful with wands, and there was a whole civil war. Yeah,
fuck the goblins.
I gotta jump into some Harry Potter mythology.
Oh yes, all right. But look, let's bring it back to Wanda.
That's some racism.
Let's
Why
bring it.
can't goblins have wands?
They were too powerful.
Fuck
with
Dobby
wands.
and the goblins. Bring it back to Wanda. Well, come on, the train.
Well,
over here.
Disney owns all of it.
Yeah,
So,
she's gonna be
Universal
incredibly powerful
So,
in the MCU Phase 4.
If they bring her into like full comic power, she's monstrous because she has
In
reality warp.
doesn't she have the Darkhold though? Right now,
she has the Darkhold right now. Which
so
is,
she was studying it at the end of WandaVision.
Which
What about Wanda's dark hole? What are we talking about?
So
that's a totally different Olsen twin.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I mean, when she has grasp on her power, there's few people that are really up there with her. Where people at least coming off of Earth, because it's like her, Molecule Man. You know, there's few people that have that reality warping that really they could just wipe the floor with anyone in front of them.
What about Professor Xavier's son?
Oh, Legion.
Yes, Legion.
He's a monster too when he has control of his powers.
Isn't Reed Richards' son like a beast too?
I forget their direct son. Eventually they become Kang. But
Reed Richards' son's like I heard is really powerful.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, so I won't.
Yeah,
even
also, Iceman doesn't get enough respect.
Yes. Apparently,
Omega level mutant.
Shay says he's an Omega level mutant.
Yeah, well,
only in Antarctica, because if he's in Florida, he ain't doing shit.
Actually, there's a lot of moisture in the air.
No, actually, he's probably more devastating in Florida. I believe the way he creates the water is
fuck that.
Fuck
Dobby.
It's
fuck Iceman.
First of all, you disrespect. It's Dobby.
Yeah,
you don't pronounce his name correctly. If you want to go back to Harry Potter,
because it's not that he creates ice; it's his absorbing actually like the temperature around him. So it's not just a creation of ice.
He could dry you out.
So if he wanted to, he could in an instant destroy the entire Earth. Nice. That's what makes him an Omega level threat.
Mutant. Okay.
And actually Gambit as well, before he gets manipulated and he gets his powers dumbed down because he was scared of his powers.
Is Gambit from New Orleans or is he French or is he Canadian?
Both.
He's Cajun.
Cajun. All right.
So
I said both.
So
yeah.
Okay.
There's a whole arc in the X-Men cartoon where his Cajun friends and they're all thieves and they're fighting in this guild.
There's a Louisiana Avengers.
When he doesn't have his powers dumbed down, it's not just that he could put energy into things. He himself becomes pure energy. He becomes a Omega level mutant at his highest power. But
way to go, Gambit.
But his power, he couldn't. Or at least he feared controlling it.
Right.
So he has not Apocalypse. What's his name? Red Eyes dude.
Oh, Mr. Sinister?
Mr. Sinister.
Oh man. Actually, isn't that the guy you damage him and there's like maggots? Like what the hell was wrong with him?
Yeah, he's a dark.
Yeah, so he has Mr. Sinister cap out his powers, but in an alternate universe where he doesn't do that, he actually becomes pure energy and becomes a real fucking monster.
So let's bring this back. Because what we were trying to get into
was out of control here.
In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we were trying to say, how do we fit the mutants into this, right?
They're just there, man.
Yeah. And they want to bring them back. And I was telling Eddie while you were gone, they don't even want to call them the X-Men anymore. They want to call them the mutants.
Oh, I thought they were going to say like, oh, you can't exclude women by saying X-Men.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, X-people. My bad.
The X-people, yes.
Yeah.
We already touched on the whole... And skipped right past the science of X and Y. Yeah.
So I think if they're going into space, what they can do is, I believe it's the Shi'ar that is in space.
I think that's the way it's pronounced.
What they can do is, if they go off of the arc off of the cartoon, and then, you know, when the X-Men went to space with the whole Dark Phoenix saga, and they fought the Gladiator and the Shi'ara, I believe it is, and all them, that's how they can tie into the mutants in space, big celestial wars, and they can tap into
the mutants,
that side of things.
The mutants have been gone because they've been out fighting some shit, like Star-Lord has been.
Yes.
Then they need to come home. But man, they've been gone for a few years.
Yes. So that's a good way to kind of bring them in, tie them in. But I'll see what they do.
I think if they don't use them. I think they got to use the Multiverse of Madness, but they need to use Wanda and almost do a reverse of what they did in House of M. Instead of her erasing all the mutants with House of M, they should do it, and that she creates the mutants. She brings them in by trying to bring her children back.
Okay.
She ends up merging the universe and bringing the mutants in. I think that would be the best way to bring them in.
Leave the shitty actress that played the Dark Phoenix out. Bring the original Phoenix, the original Jean Grey, who was a much better actress,
do you know
back into play.
Do you know what happened with that?
No.
So the studios felt that Mystique was more popular than her, so they kept pushing Mystique's storyline forward and moving her to the background. So they kept changing the script because they felt that she was a more popular actress and a more popular character. So they wanted her in the foreground because they thought it would sell the movie better. So
you know what?
That's why they made Mystique more of a anti-hero superhero versus a bad guy.
Wasn't the new Phoenix Sansa Stark?
Yeah.
Right.
I think
Sophie
they
Turner.
just shit the bed with the whole story arc is what it was. Is I didn't hate the movies. I actually liked them. I enjoyed them. I try to go into the movies like this is what it is. This is the studio's rendition of a cartoon or a comic classic.
Yes.
Although I felt deeply that the comics and the cartoons did a far better job telling the Phoenix saga.
Yes.
So I went into it, enjoyed it for what it was, but it wasn't the same. I did not like the Mystique story arc in the X-Men because Mystique is a much better villain, and she would have served a much greater purpose playing by Magneto's side as she did in the cartoons.
She's Rogue's mother, right?
Yes.
Yes. So even in the comics, when she
that was another character they shit the bed with. Rogue.
When she lends herself to being on the good guys in the comics, she's doing it purely because it benefits her.
Right.
So if they would have played more of that aspect in the movies, they could have done better with it.
Yeah.
Because she's not a good guy.
No,
she
not
is
at all.
about herself. Yeah. Survival of myself. Yeah. That's a core component of her character.
Yeah. And they tried to, like what they did with Harley Quinn. That's another thing that actually we could touch base on is I don't like them taking the villains and then making them good guys because people like them.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn is a homicidal maniac.
Yes.
And the most overused Halloween costume.
Yes. I agree. And then so bringing her into like, hey, all the little kids should dress up like Harley Quinn. I'm like, no, she fucking murders people. Right? She is in a domestic violence, abusive relationship with the Joker.
Yep.
And this is the person that you want your kids to follow.
But they even managed to do it in the comics, though.
And you wonder why your daughter brings home a guy with face tattoos. So there you go. Thanks for the Harley Quinn costume, Mom.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
They did spin her into a bit of an anti-hero in the comics, and I haven't seen too much of that, though. But like what they did with the show,
right?
The cartoon where she's
more of an anti-hero.
Yes.
Right? But here's the thing. You could
female Deadpool, if you will.
Yes. You can have a villain that you like and still make them a villain and then cast them off as the villain and they get their just desserts at the end.
Which is why I'm a little concerned about what they're going to do with the Black Adam movie. Because he traditionally
is a villain.
Yes. He's been on the side of it benefits me to be good.
Right.
But traditionally, he's the villain to Shazam. He's the counterpart.
Power. Sure.
Yeah. So I like that Rock because he looks the part for it. I'm concerned about how are they going to make him a villain, but not a villain, but a good guy.
I think they're going to teeter the line that they did with Thanos, right? Because when you see Thanos, a lot of people are like, well, he was kind of right. He was a dick. He was a villain. You wanted to see him lose, but at the end of the day, you were still like, that motherfucker was kind of right. We could do with a few less people on the highway.
I was about to say, every time I take Southern Boulevard by West Palm Hospital, where you at, Thanos?
Yeah, like, right?
Where you at, buddy?
Snap, motherfucker. Give it to these bitches.
I gotta be at work. Snap your fingers.
All right. I'm gonna jump right into your favorite movies in the cinematic universe. All right, so let's think about this real quick. If you had to pick one being your favorite movie, and it doesn't matter if it's a part of the MCU now or the original MCU that's not really tied into it, or if it's X-Men or Sony Spiderman movies.
Can we disqualify Endgame?
We can disqualify the Avengers movies as a whole. Single solid movie, one character.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So then we're disqualifying the X-Men as well, I guess.
Then you're disqualifying Hulk because he has no single movies. It's a contractual thing that he can't get his own movie.
Well, Edward Norton.
All right.
Edward Norton.
So without any...
I liked it.
All right. I liked it. So no team movies. We'll save that for...
Fighting a water monster. Why?
It was so bad.
You have unlimited strength.
So bad.
Why are you fighting a water monster?
Not that one.
No, that's Ed Norton. He fights the Abomination.
He
fights the Abomination.
Not the Ang Lee abortion.
And they totally dropped the leader story arc. The leader was supposed to come in, and then
interesting
they
enough,
totally forgot about that motherfucker.
He'll come back.
They've made it canon that Hulk is actually a part of One Above All.
Okay.
So that's why he has unlimited strength. It's because he's getting power from essentially an unlimited creature.
Okay.
So he's considered like the right hand.
All right. So
yeah,
jumping back into this so we don't stray too far.
It was a weird chunk of comic where it's like, why are they explaining this to Hulk and Hulk doesn't understand what's happening? Okay, let's leave Banner unconscious, the one that understands the conversation. That's good. This is all right. Thanks, guys.
Reeling it back in. Because Ian is fucking eating like a maniac.
Did you know the Living Tribunal?
And Eddie is a fucking dictionary of shit that we're not talking about.
I had 4 cups of coffee. It hit me. I went and took a Yeti shit in your bathroom, and then I ate this entire container of fruit.
Oh my God!
I don't know what's happening to me right now.
We're gonna have to call in a team of specialists to clean that shit up. All right, favorite movie? No teams, so no X-Men, no Avengers. Okay, Ian, we're gonna start with you.
I'm gonna go with Thor Ragnarok.
Ooh, okay.
I'm sorry, the soundtrack.
Right. Yep.
Just the humor, like you said, it's a comedy.
Yes.
It just hits. He's the giant Norse mythology fire.
Yes.
Giant that has
that opening scene is great.
He's spinning.
He's like, 1 moment.
The Led Zeppelin soundtrack, it's fucking the whole movie is fantastic.
Yeah,
I love it.
Jeff Goldblum gives a fantastic performance.
Okay.
The whole fight between Hulk and him on another planet in an arena is just no.
Okay, all right, I like it.
That movie was literally it was a hit from the start to finish. The soundtrack was great. The comedy, I think, was an all-time high.
Yeah.
I think, to me, that embodies Marvel.
All right. For me, I'm going to go with a very new and very recent movie, and I'm going to go with Shang Chi. I'm a lover of the martial arts.
Okay.
I thought that they did the comedy well. It wasn't forced. The fight scenes were fucking dope. And then he gets his power. Yeah, right? That boss fight scene was sick.
Dude.
And the guy in the back recording was fucking hilarious. He's like, "You got this, man." And then he's like, "Oh, sorry, bro." That shit was good. I thought that even like the father, that he was just trying to like save the love of his life. He was kind of lost, finds his way at the end there, and just sacrifices himself for his son to do the right thing. I thought that whole story was dope.
Believe the voice behind the door.
It was more of a lamenting, right? I love that word. It was a lamenting.
Yeah, but homie didn't even stop when he was breaking the door down. And evil is pouring through. Yeah. He's like, "No, my wife's back there."
He's just in for a penny and for a pound.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? So there's a bunch of evil demons flying out. She's got to be back there somewhere.
Why would your wife be hanging out with evil demons behind a wall?
And if she is, what the fuck's going on, bro?
Exactly. There's some tentacles back there.
Yeah, you might want to leave that bitch alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might want to move on, bro.
Yeah, man. Find a girl with no tentacles.
Like, how many demons? 3. You got to times that by like 5 or 6.
She's never going to give you the real number. She's never going to give you the real number.
Mephisto's in the back like,
whatever it is, you got to multiply it by 3.
Yeah, that's right. But in the case of a demon, it's 6.
Yeah.
So,
in the case of tentacles, it's 10.
Ragnarok, Shang-Chi, what you got?
All right, I think if we're taking Ragnarok off the table, I got to go with the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that's a team. Disqualified. Next choice.
Wow.
They don't have any individual movies for that.
No, they don't. So you're going to have to pick an individual movie. that isn't the Guardians of the Galaxy.
What a monster. I like the pick. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good pick.
It's a great pick. It's
But
actually.
I'm also the guy that had 4 cups of coffee and ate a bowl of fruit, so the fuck do I know?
I would have gone with Guardians of the Galaxy, but I was like, you know what? We said no teams.
Arguably, that
So we
soundtrack's
said no
the best.
teams. And Eddie likes to try to change shit up. Remember that episode where he's like, I'm going to go with an animated movie. You know what I mean? And we're like, oh, what the fuck, dude?
I knew that Ed likes to change it up ever since our sports episode.
No, but you know what, Eddie, go for it. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, Ed. I'm in full support.
We will accept the fact that you do not know how to adhere to the rules set in place.
I support you.
If you were a cosmic being, you wouldn't be fucking doing the right thing. All right, go for it, man. Go for it.
No, I'm still going to take Guardians. You can complain all you want. Still going to be Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was waiting for you to finish so I could continue to pick my pick.
I think it's almost on par with Ragnarok in terms of how funny it is. I might like the soundtrack. I might like the soundtrack a little bit better.
I was about to say, like, the soundtrack of Guardians of the Galaxy is probably better than
The
Ragnarok.
soundtrack really was a centerpiece to that
Cherry
movie.
bomb.
Yeah.
That's my fucking song, bro.
Yeah, that whole thing is great.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with the next one because
I think it's gonna be great.
Thor is going to be in the middle of it as well. So
Yes.
I'm excited for Thor: Love and Thunder.
I think there's going to be some surprises in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I really do. Besides Thor.
Everything is in space now.
Yeah, it really is.
They got to pick a movie that they're going to introduce Adam Warlock in. You know?
It might be that
It
one.
might be Guardians because they hinted at it at Guardians too.
They did, but you know what? I don't think it's going to be in that one only because they just announced casting Adam Warlock.
Yes.
Shortly
when
after.
is Howard the Duck going to make a bigger performance other than banging? What's her name?
Listen, I think that is the best performance we could have asked for.
If he's not in Love and Thunder, I'm going to be upset. He needs to at least make like a 3-second cameo, like following her around or some shit.
Right. Christian Bale better do a good job too.
Here's my question to both of you then. What the fuck does Howard the Duck do? What is his power?
He drinks martinis.
He does.
And parties.
Yeah. And we need that.
So he's the most interesting duck in the world?
Yes.
We need that. We need that.
All right.
Yeah, I don't believe he has any actual powers. He's just
a duck.
A morphized duck.
So technically Donald would beat him.
I'd like to see that fight. You know what? We need a versus. Donald Duck, Howard the Duck.
Donald the Duck, and if you play Kingdom Hearts, I don't, but my brother does. If you play Kingdom Hearts, Donald Duck is one of the most powerful mages in the entire universe.
All right, so Mage Donald Duck versus Howard the Duck.
I think
we'll make it happen.
Seth Green has Robot Chicken. He could put that together.
We could put that together. I hate to say this, but especially with Disney owning Marvel, my money's on fucking Donald, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're talking about like it's fixed.
Home team first.
You know what?
Home team first.
I'm a Disney fan. Go to Walt Disney World all the time.
They're not going to have Donald lose.
Donald
No
all
way.
day.
He's going to have so much backing.
Donald from Fantasia?
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
no way.
He's
There's
always
no
been
way.
in that.
He's gonna hurt himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the process,
Howard wins by default.
nah,
I mean, are we
man.
even
Howard is too inebriated to fight back.
Are we even going to throw Daffy's name in here? Or are we just
No one gives a fuck.
That would
about
be like a
Daffy.
tag team attack. You know what I mean?
Daffy's always getting fucked,
Or is that how the fight starts? Howard the Duck seduces Daphne, and Donald's like, "What the
No,
fuck, bro?"
Daisy's the female.
Oh, Daisy.
He said
oh,
Daffy.
Daisy. Oh, Oh, you said Daffy.
Daffy.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Daphne.
No.
Oh,
Daffy's
shit.
the chick from
Maybe
from
I'm
Scooby-Doo.
inebriated.
Okay, fine. So we make it a triple threat.
Triple threat.
We have Daffy Duck, Donald Duck, and Howard the
Daffy
Duck.
all day. Daffy
Equal playing
fought
field?
Elmer Fudd with shotguns.
He did.
Okay.
He did.
Space
But
Jam?
supposedly Donald has a high confidence.
Listen, not nearly as elegantly as Bugs Bunny did, though. Let's be honest.
This is true.
Okay, so without a doubt, Bugs Bunny is the most powerful rabbit.
Oh,
Unless you put Roger Rabbit against it, but what's Roger's ability?
Easter Bunny.
Easter
Bunny, bro.
Roger Rabbit's ability is to get other people to do the work for him.
Does the Easter Bunny borrow some of his power from Christ? I mean, there's holidays are linked. I mean, where's the source of his power?
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, let's get back on track. So,
You almost said you're gonna summon the Easter Bunny.
we have definitely decided on our 3 favorite
About
movies.
The Rock is the Tooth Fairy? We've all seen that
hate
movie,
you.
right?
I hate you. That movie
Wasn't Vin Diesel
kind of good. That movie, The Tooth Fairy was kind of good.
Was it? I never seen it.
It was pretty fucking funny, bro.
I've never seen it.
But you know what? I like everything The Rock does except for that rap video.
Are there any other powerful raccoons out there, or is it just Rocket?
None that I know of.
I can't think of any.
Oh, the video game character Sly Cooper.
Oh, that's a dead franchise. Moving on.
And with that said, if we had to pick the worst movie in the Marvel franchise, anything is in play because Eddie's already thrown that fucking rule out the window, choosing Guardians of the Galaxy.
I know what it is.
Listen.
I got
the Hulk movie where he fights the fucking water monster.
All right, you go first. All right, you got
just
this.
giving.
Are we counting that?
Giving a fizz. It
was pretty trash.
It was
pretty trash.
They're bringing Thunderbolt.
That's pretty bad.
They're bringing Thunderbolt Ross back in. He's played his character again.
Oh, so they're bringing in the Red Hulk.
Correct.
Ooh,
the Eric Bana Hulk.
So, taking a character whose key component is unlimited physical strength and having him fight a fucking water monster is absolutely absurd.
Yeah, it's a waste.
It's a complete waste of his character.
It really was.
It was just ridiculous.
It would have been
and dumb.
better if he got into a fist fight with her father.
Yeah. It would have been way more entertaining. I mean, it would have been like the one punch in the Hulk movie where he hits the guy that becomes Abomination and he just goes flying.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been the whole fight.
They could have put...
But it would have been better.
He should have fought Nick Nolte.
Yeah. They could have put her father in a tank and it would have been the equivalent of Batman versus Superman.
Yes.
Which makes no fucking sense because Superman unequivocally murders Batman every fucking time. I'm sorry.
Wait,
he doesn't
your
even
mom has
have
the
to
same
be in
name
the
as
same
my mom?
room.
Oh, we're friends now. Martha.
I think he punches with the strength of like 600 atomic bombs.
Yes.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
But Batman has Kevlar.
He could have killed him at any point. As a matter of fact, if he punched the suit that he was in, made of metal, it would have just folded in on his body.
The concussive shock alone, he would have been liquefied inside.
Are we forgetting that the center of this suit is a man? Ben Affleck at that? Like,
It's mush. It's mush.
exactly.
All right, so worst movie, you got, boom.
Hulk.
What was it?
Hulk. The Hulk. Hulk
So
versus
I believe
the
it
water
was called
monster.
The Incredible Hulk, that
No,
movie,
it's
right?
just Hulk.
I think it's
Ang Lee Hulk, because the
Ang Lee
Incredible
Hulk.
Hulk is the Edward Norton movie.
Okay, all right.
With Hicks and Gracie.
I'm gonna give you number 2. What movie you got for shitty?
I'm gonna go
on the
with
list.
the fucking Amazing Spider-Man number 2, the one with.
Are you talking about Andrew Garfield Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, and I'm sorry.
with the Venom?
it was Shock, Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
He tried
okay.
his best. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Okay.
That movie was a pile of shit. It was a pile
they
of shit.
definitely underutilized Jamie Foxx's acting abilities.
It killed that whole Spider-Man universe.
It really
killed
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking killed it.
Okay. All right.
Emma Stone, I think, was in it as what the hell is the name of it? Not Mary Jane. Stacey.
Gwen
Stacy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she did okay.
She did okay. The person, I forget the comedian's name that was playing her father.
Dennis Leary.
He did excellent in the role. Like, he was very believable as
The first
I'm gonna
one-
fuck you up if you hurt my daughter.
Amazing Spider-Man number 1 was not that bad. It wasn't that bad. I mean, he the Lizard was the bad guy.
Right.
It was not a bad movie. It's just they completely lost track of everything in the second movie. I'm sorry. It's
I happen to
hated
agree
it.
with you. It's probably the worst of the Spider-Mans. Close second is the one with the kid from that 70s show
the
playing
worst,
Venom.
worst
worst
portrayal
choice.
of Venom ever.
Oh yeah, so bad. Okay, all right. I'm gonna go with a throwback. Ouch. And
Fucking else in there.
we're gonna say Dolph Lundgren Punisher.
Ooh.
Really?
Yes.
That's
yes.
way back.
That's a throwback.
I don't know if that's worse than the Hulk.
Listen, they actually show Dolph Lundgren meditating.
Oh, yes,
with his
they did.
body like in front of candles. I'm like, oh, what the fuck does this have to do with the Punisher? He's supposed to be murdering people. Why is he meditating naked in the sewers? That was some director's wet dream.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So no, it was bad acting. It was like action, like 80s action flick.
Because when I think high quality acting, I think
Dolph Lundgren.
Lundgren.
Yo,
It was the worst of the Punisher series.
he's a legit genius.
Oh, he's got like
Well, if he was smarter,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have played the Punisher in that movie. So he's disqualified as a fucking genius.
He was like a Swedish karate champion or something.
He was a Swedish bikini model.
He's tougher than Steven Seagal.
That I'll give him.
He's tougher than Steven
100%.
Seagal.
And Steven, you still haven't answered the fucking call.
Yeah, you
So
know who
fuck
else
you,
is
dude.
tougher than Steven Seagal? Me, Steve. Me, you fucking pussy. Look, I even got my ponytail. I'm ready. I'm fucking ready for you, Steve. I got your book.
The movie was bad, even when other action movies were just as corny and bad. The newer renditions of the Punisher, especially the series,
Netflix
I think
nailed it.
the John Berthel
Yes.
Punisher, fantastic.
That was-
the best
that- no, that's
Punisher
the Punisher.
by
That is
far.
the Punisher.
And they really do. I think they did cast him again. They really do need to bring him back into the fold.
I'm
as
100%
the
on.
Punisher.
There's two things from the Netflix universe that need to come into the actual Marvel canon. One is John Bernthal's Punisher. The other is the
Iron
Kingpin.
Fist.
The Kingpin.
Yes. You know what though? I really did like the Daredevil.
I
liked
I
him
liked
a
the guy
lot.
that played Daredevil.
Daredevil, I thought was okay. The best thing for it was that hot redhead lawyer. That was my favorite part of the whole thing. The only reason I was tuning into the later episodes
Right.
was the Kingpin.
The Kingpin
he
was
was-
a
he
fantastic
was phenomenal.
character.
I couldn't look away. He was the best villain in the whole Netflix Marvel thing.
Okay. He was the best. The second best was from Luke Cage.
Oh, the Bushmaster.
Bushmaster was
What
fucking
the hell? That dude was
Yes.
bad.
Yo, he
That
was
dude
like spitting
badass.
kinky, talking shit. Like, yo, man, I'm gonna fuck you. I
Yeah,
was like,
he's just speaking
He is
Jamaican
the fucking
island. No,
badass.
he's fucking you up.
No, he played that like because I grew up in Brooklyn around some like legit like Rastafarites, like, and they're tough, smart men. Like,
And he
had
got
that,
his
like,
name from
he had
Rum?
that role, bro. Come
He got
on,
his name
man.
from- I was like, dude, this dude is awesome.
All right, but then you know what? Another good villain
I'm looking for Luke Cage.
from
I was like, what?
from Luke Cage was Cottonmouth.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
liked Cottonmouth. I think that they underutilized him and killed him off too soon because
Yeah.
I didn't like the old lady.
I didn't like the old lady when she started to kiss the young Spanish guy.
Yeah, he didn't like that either.
I'm not trying to yuck anybody's
Bro,
yum.
I'm talking
but
about.
hey,
It was like,
there.
they're like, what do you have? Any special needs? Yes, we hear that some people like green M&Ms. He's like, mouthwash. I gotta kiss that old lady. Just buckets and buckets of mouthwash. Some Listerine strips too, please.
that show had some good soundtrack too.
it
Yes.
did.
When they started kicking Wu-Tang, when he kicked
Method
in that,
Man.
when he kicked in that oh dude,
That was shit.
when
that
he
shit was
kicked
dope.
in the door of that drug house,
Yeah.
oh they started clearing it out and they're playing Wu-Tang.
You know what? It was a good series. I think it wasn't terrible, but Punisher was the best of
Yeah.
the Defenders. Daredevil was really good. I even like Jessica Jones.
I liked
it for
Jessica
what it
Jones was good. Who was the dude?
Especially when David Tennant was playing the Purple Man.
Man.
Yeah.
What? He plays such a good villain.
He was
Yes.
creepy.
He
He was
was.
creepy. He was
Yes.
unsettling.
No, he
and-
sold it. But that's again right.
for
A villain
me-
that you kind of liked.
Yes.
But then
But
the
he
second season,
deserved
when
to-
like her mom was the bad guy, I was like, ah,
Yeah, that's where they.
What are we
I'm
doing?
With you. I'm with you.
What are we
Yeah, the
doing
mom was
here?
like, you kind of suck.
like the second season of the Punisher. I mean, the Punisher was good throughout just because of John Bernthal.
Yes.
But the second season of the Punisher, I was like,
What's
meh.
the Jigsaw?
Yeah, it was Jigsaw.
Right?
But he wasn't ugly enough.
They fucked him up.
It's like they told the actor. The actor must have complained. Don't
Yeah.
fuck my face up too bad. Like, no, your face
Yeah.
is stitched back
I need to
together.
be visible for my close-up.
Yes. Right here, Duval.
He still wanted to be semi-attractive, and you can't do that when your name is Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You, know?
no,
you gotta look
can't.
more like the guy from the newer Punisher movie that played Jigsaw, like where his face was just
But he was an ugly motherfucker to begin with.
Exactly.
Too, right? Yeah. Yeah.
you need
I'm
like
with you.
Steve Buscemi to play.
I'm with you.
To play fucking Jigsaw. No disrespect to Steve Buscemi. You
No,
served
he
as a
just said
fireman.
you're an ugly motherfucker. That is straight disrespect. That is all the disrespect, and he gave it to you.
Steve, I respect Mr. Buscemi. I respect you much more than Frank Dukes and Steven Seagal.
No.
See, he won't even say your name correctly.
Yeah, he's like, Temi.
Steve Buscemi.
See, he could do it correctly.
Right.
You're
He
probably
chose not
Italian.
to.
You're probably
He chose
Italian.
not
I'm
to.
sorry.
He chose not to.
I'm sorry, sir.
All right. I'm gonna throw one more at you guys.
I like this. This is
All right.
good.
All right. So we got the best.
Marvel movie.
We got the worst.
Worst.
All right. Which Marvel movie disappointed you?
Oh,
Which
like
one had
I
the most
expected it to
hype
be good?
behind it? And then when you watched it, you were like,
Play.
it could have been better. I'm going to go right off the back. X-Men, Dark Phoenix. The Dark Phoenix wasn't a bad movie, right? But I was expecting so much more out of it because this was the first time like the Dark Phoenix was supposed to go ham, and she's got incredible cosmic powers.
Yep.
It should have been a bigger team up to fight her. There could have been a little bit more of that inner conflict that the Dark Phoenix showed in the cartoon. And that's a lot to say that a cartoon showed a little more inner turmoil than the fucking actress. Yeah. And I like Sansa Stark too. No hate on her. Just as far as...
What up, Sophie Turner?
But as far as movies that disappointed me that I was expecting more from, that one. Dark Phoenix, X-Men. Ian?
To me, it might be 2. First one is going to be Iron Man 3. Just because Iron Man 1 was good.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2 I thought was even better. Iron Man 3, I think they started the whole lackluster losing faith. Tony Stark with
the drunk
Mandarin. There's a bunch of suits. I think it just kind of droned on.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think of I wasn't really disappointed by a lot of Marvel movies, but I think I expected them to be better. Yeah. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was okay, but not as disappointing as Marvel or Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'll go with that.
Yeah, I say wasting all those suits at the end there was like, no!
Yeah.
You could have used those suits in Endgame, bro. You could still be alive right now.
It was kind of like a Blade thing. Like Blade 3 was meh.
Yes.
Blade 1 and 2 are good.
Blade 1 and 2 were solid as fuck.
I thought Blade 2 was better than Blade 1.
Okay, hold on a second. What about Blade 1 when the hot chick lured the guy into the club and he thinking he's gonna get some, and then blood starts raining from the ceiling, and then Murder City.
Yeah,
that to me was like, this is a fucking vampire movie.
But when what the hell's that guy's the rapper that sings "Eye Against Eye"? When he started rapping, when that Blade and the vampire team are walking into that,
okay, all right, yeah.
I was like, this shit's fucking. And then when Jared Nomak attacks the vampire capital in Romania, I was like, dude.
All right, but Deacon Frost.
He was a bad, and then he became Lamagra. He became Lamagra, the blood guy.
He was a badass villain, man.
He was.
Blade 1.
Yeah.
Are you retracting?
I don't know. Blade 2's good.
Okay, Blade 2 is good. But I'm all right.
But Blade 2,
Blade 1.
Okay, fine. Blade 2 did have some fuck shit CGI.
It did.
So I'm gonna go with Blade 1.
All right.
Blade 1 was more authentic fight.
Eddie, not a movie that you necessarily hated or just disappointed. What do you got?
I think Iron Man 2 was a little disappointing. I expected more from it.
The Iron Man 2 is Whiplash, right?
Yeah.
I liked it.
It wasn't bad.
Mickey Rourke's performance was good.
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke, he was good. Apparently, something that I found out later what I thought was funny, the whole thing with the bird, he just kept adding that shit in, I guess.
Mickey Rourke's a weird
He's like, I want a bird, bitch.
I want a bird.
I got to double check, but I don't know if that was actually a thing, and he just made it a thing.
Mickey Rourke is probably a pirate in his personal life. He just.
All right. I don't know. I just think I think it was more like coming off of Iron Man 1.
Okay.
It just didn't hit as hard as Iron Man 1. Like, it wasn't a bad movie.
Right.
If it's on, I'm going to watch it.
Sure.
But it just wasn't.
Ant-Man and the Wasp was like another play.
Yeah. All right, so let's switch it. This is going to be the last one, guys. All right? You ready for this?
Okay. All right.
So,
make it good.
What movie are you most excited for in the MCU that's coming our way down the pipeline?
All right, well,
man.
And I'm going to go with, and I'm hoping, because they have not gotten it right yet. And this is one of the movies we haven't touched on, which is the Fantastic Four. That's Marvel's first family. Again? That's Marvel's first family.
Yeah.
And so the first round of movies wasn't bad. 1 and 2 wasn't bad. I completely forgot about 3. That could have easily made my worst Marvel movie. It's the Fantastic Four, number 3.
Oh no! Actually,
did you just say 1 and 2 weren't bad?
They weren't bad at the time.
Isn't 2 the one with Galactus?
No, 3. 3 is the one with Galactus. That's the worst one.
I might have to change that Hulk movie for the Fantastic Four movie reboot that they did.
We completely forgot about.
But what's his name that played Killmonger? That movie's a real piece of shit.
That was bad. No,
that's a real piece of shit. I don't say it often. It's a real piece of shit.
But look, and also, let's talk about this, right? It's another. It's a piece
Mr.
of shit.
Fantastic had a suit that had springs, so it was stretched with him. What the fuck is that? Come on,
all right.
yo.
Okay, all right.
Yo, it's fucked.
You may be right.
It's a bad movie. That movie's a piece of shit.
They keep fucking up the Fantastic Four, right? And it's so easy to get right. They even had Captain America in the first.
It's like how do you
It's a doomed thing to try to put to live action.
How do you get that many good actors and have that bad of a, it's Copland all over again?
It really is. So what they're trying to do is a new cast that I think could save it because they've already showed who's gonna play Mr. Fantastic.
So you need a hot chick that we're gonna make invisible.
Correct. So you defeat the purpose, correct?
Probably a good-looking dude you need to light on fire.
Right, and then another guy who's all muscles that you're just gonna CGI for the rest of the movie.
That's it.
Just not Vin Diesel, please. Please, God, not Vin Diesel.
Well, if it's Vin Diesel, you don't have to CGI him.
I am Thing?
He doesn't even have to. I am Thing, yes. I am Thing. I am Thing. Pay that guy $1 million. I am Thing from the yacht. Right. So I'm phoning it in. I am Thing.
I am Thing.
So, all right, a quick look at what is coming out. So, Eternals just came out. We got Hawkeye, Spider-Man No Way Home, Miss Marvel.
Yes.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse. Yes. Thor, Love and Thunder.
I feel like No Way Home has an unfair advantage just because we've seen the trailer.
Yes.
Black Panther 2.
Yes.
The Marvels.
Black Panther 2. What direction are they going?
There's a holiday special for Guardians of the Galaxy. It's supposed to be coming up as well.
But is that a show or a movie?
Is it a musical?
Ant-Man and Wasp, Quantumania.
Okay.
Is it a musical?
Guardians 3.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
It might have some musical in it. And then Fantastic Four, Captain America 4.
That's the new
They got
Captain
so
America
much
this
shit.
time.
Blade.
Yes, Blade is another one.
Deadpool 3. Moon Knight. Secret Invasion.
All right. So I got enough. I'm gonna go with a very hopeful, very optimistic Fantastic Four because I already know that the Multiverse of Madness is gonna be great. Spider-Man is gonna be great. Morbius looks like it could be really good. Something that I haven't seen too much of, not even the cast or the crew, whatever. Fantastic Four. I'm hoping it's going to be a great movie and they finally nail it, do it right, and it leads into a Secret Skrull invasion. That's my hope because I'm ready for the Secret Wars. What do you got, Ian?
Just by default, I'm going to go Thor, Love and Thunder. Just because I'm excited to see Christian Bale as Gore the God Killer.
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok was so good. I'm hoping they build off it. I'm hoping they don't change direction. Because like Thor was good. Thor 2, The Dark World was meh. It was okay. I wasn't really feeling the Dark Elf shit. And then they crushed it with Thor Ragnarok. Yes. They crushed it.
Well, whenever you bring Jeff Goldblum in,
you're
going to fucking crush it.
He's always good.
And then a distant second, I would say, is definitely Doctor Strange. I thought Benedict Cumberbatch
He's
embodied Doctor Strange, and I loved it. I love the whole mystic side of it, and I think they're going to probably tie Wanda in with it.
Yeah.
So I think the Multiverse of Madness will touch more on this whole multiverse thing we're dealing with.
And she's definitely in the movie.
Okay, there you go.
And, people forget that Doctor Strange was holding back like an ocean of fucking water, and he fucked up Thanos before he got his hands on him. He was fucking kicking Thanos' ass for a little bit.
He was. Right? He is the Sorcerer Supreme, man.
It was only because of Star-Lord that they fucking shit the bed on getting the goddamn gauntlet off. But I'm in love! You fucking idiot.
Pussy.
Save the world, then get the girl. That's the fucking rules. That's the rules.
He thought with his little head.
Yeah, you dick. All right, go ahead, Eddie. And that's why they're hating on him on the internet. They remember.
As they should.
I'm excited to see Multiverse of Madness. Because that is, I think, going to be their chance to tie everything together.
Yes.
And I think that's where we're going to see the direction of where everything's going with the Eternals, with Kang, with everything happening in Spider-Man and Venom. And I think that's the choke point where they could really try to fix and get back into a single timeline again.
All right, I like it. I would like to touch base on one thing that I just remembered because you said that. There is another possibility that this Marvel Cinematic Universe can go, and it took place in the comic books with the King in Black. And if they And I think it really ties into what Sony Studios allows them to do with Spider-Man.
That might be where Sony's trying to go.
Right. Because the King in Black is basically the epitome of all of what makes the symbiotes. And he comes down.
What the hell is his name? He's the first symbiote.
Yes.
He's the one who created them all.
Yeah, yeah. And he comes down and he fucks up the Marvel Universe.
He killed a Celestial.
Yes.
He has some kind of sword that he literally created from himself.
Yeah, and he takes over most of the Avengers and like
is his name?
And another thing is, who plays a big major role in that is the Black Knight. Right?
Yeah.
The Black Knight?
Black Knight,
yeah. He's one of the only people that can damage and kill the symbiotes and some other low-level mutants.
Yes.
From the X-Men and stuff like that start becoming more powerful.
No.
Is it Cole or no?
No.
No, yes. Yeah. And that could be another interesting route to go. Like they could really go Secret Wars.
Yeah, he created the sword known as the All Black.
Yes.
It's a necro sword that's able to kill Celestials.
Fucking crazy. So that's a whole nother route that they can go.
Yeah, especially if they're leaning into dealing with the Celestials for the Internals and the Black Knight and all that. Yeah. Bringing in the Black Knight to fight Null to get a sword.
That's the name of the sword. All Black, the Necro Sword. Species nice. Elder God.
Nice.
All right.
That sounds like a bad Japanese anime dubbed to English.
Or a good band. Or a good band.
So, I mean, they have a lot of routes that they really can take this Marvel universe into. So I'm excited to see what they do.
Can we make the next Venom movie R-rated, please?
I think that they really should. I like that it was kind of
they
campy,
should, but the problem
it could have been darker.
I know, but
the problem is it's Sony is making it. It's not Marvel making it. It's Sony making it.
But Sony, you have Carnage.
I know.
Carnage.
And you have Woody Harrelson playing him.
He is the symbiote that is on a psychotic serial
killer. Sony
is
playing by old school rules with the way they do a lot of things. They don't take risks for things like that.
Well, they're playing loose and fast.
I mean, look, the last company they bought was a company that was only making shit for them that they were working with for like 20 years. Like, wow, that was inventive?
That's why I'm saying.
Way to go, guys!
Sell to the overlords. Disney, take it over. We need to put Venom and Spider-Man in the right hands because they're actually two really big key components into the future of where Marvel can go.
And they set up Venom as not as a pure bad guy, even though that's the way he starts out until the other symbiotes come in.
Right. I was going to say there is a spin-off comic where that's where they picked this cinematic Venom off of, where he's kind of campy and jokey and shit like that. But I like the original Venom better. I like leaving my fucking villains. I'm a big champion of heroes, villains, and let them fight and let the chips fall where they may.
Well, you can thank The Walking Dead for anti-heroes being so big. Yeah. And Spawn.
Spawn was so good.
Punisher.
God, I love
Spawn. Do you, though?
I do.
All right. I know I said one last thing, but I'm going to say this. Do we need to bring back Ben Affleck as Daredevil? If you don't...
Those are your choices. Ben Affleck Daredevil or Netflix Daredevil.
Ian, and the choice rests in your hands.
Only if we can bring back Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin.
And with that said, cue the music.
Why can't we? Why can't we bring him back?
Thank you for joining us at the
Is he on vacation?
Kingdom podcast. You can find us on all your social media platforms.
Sofa Kingdom OFC.
And on YouTube.
Sofa Kingdom Podcast.
And Ian forgot to point.
What happened?
Still thinking about that shit he took.
Like, subscribe, share, notification bell, comment,
goes a long way,
5-star.
It does. We appreciate everything.
Pick all that annoying shit that everybody tells you to do and do some of them.
Yeah, but if you like Sandra Bullock, unsubscribe.
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Don't you ever come back. Lock the door.
Not a fan. Not a fan. And if anyone can get a hold of Steven Seagal, please let me know.
Yes.
He's hiding.
Yes.
He's hiding. He's in Russia somewhere.
We need to set this shit up.